Ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, it's showtime!
Welcome to Big Faces Worldwide, where we talking nothing but this boxing, man. What's good, fam? Hey, listen, man, first off, let me welcome everybody to the channel, man. If you're new here, I want you to be here. So think about hitting that subscribe button as we stay knee deep into this boxing conversation, man. The final press conference, man, for this weekend's pay-per-view matchup between ERROL SPENCE Jr., Shawn Porter. It was heated. I got to say, this is the most entertaining, intense press conference that I have seen in a long time, man. Shawn Porter, ERROL SPENCE was going back and forth. Darrell Benavidez was going back and forth, and it was very entertaining, man. There were some things that was said in the press conference that I found hilarious. You know, Shawn Porter saying that he has not been called a dirty fighter until ERROL SPENCE brought it up was hilarious. You know what I'm saying? Him saying that nobody leaves a Shawn Porter fight disappointed was hilarious. ERROL SPENCE saying that Shawn Porter, you know, looks like he's drowning when he's fighting. Saying that he's a in-shape street fighter. You know what I mean? ERROL SPENCE is basically saying that Shawn Porter is going to be in the fight because of his will and him being in shape. You know, he don't give him no credit for his boxing skills. You know, and that's got under Shawn Porter's skin. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like everything that Shawn Porter says irritates the hell out of Spence, man. Somebody gonna get hurt. Somebody gonna get hurt Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? And in both fights, you know, both fights, it seems like Benavidez, you know, is he just got this attitude that, which I like, you know what I'm saying, which I like, but it may be a little too overconfident, but I like his confidence, you know, but he just thinks he's just gonna walk through Darrell. You know, he just thinks he's gonna walk through him, man. Darrell's a good fighter, man. Darrell has the skills to pay the bills, man. I know he's a little older. He's 34 years old. His legs are not what they used to be. But Darrell can box. You know what I'm saying? Darrell can box. He only has one loss on his record, and that is against Badu Jack. You know, Badu Jack is a you know, top-notch fighter. You know, turned out to be, you know, a really good fighter. And he got a draw against Sakia Bika, you know, which he did avenge that. You know what I'm saying? He set that straight. But I look at Benavidez, man. I look back at the fight. He had two fights with Ron Gaville from, you know, the Money Team, man. The first one was very, very close. You know, Benavidez got dropped in that fight. And I just think that Darrell is leaps and bounds better than Ron Gaville. You know what I'm saying? And I think he punches harder than Ron Gaville. You know what I'm saying? And if he's dropping Benavidez, how will Benavidez take the punches from Darrell? Darrell is a you know, precise, accurate puncher. You know what I'm saying? He sends them straight down the pipe. You know, ain't no looping shots. He sends them straight down the pipe. Now, what Darrell does that, you know, I think, you know, is his weakness is sometimes he don't follow the instructions of his corner, and he gets into a fight that, you know, he don't necessarily need to be in. You understand what I'm saying? You know, he gets in there and want to fight on the inside when that's not his game, man. If Darrell wants to win this fight, it's going to be off the back foot. It's going to be using lateral movement. It's going to be using his combinations and really sticking to the game plan, man. Really being disciplined. Excuse me, because if he laps up for any second, man, this young 22-year-old kid is gonna go in there and try to knock his block off, man. I think it's gonna be a more competitive fight than people think, man. A lot of people just think Benavidez is just gonna go in here and demolish Terrell. That's not gonna be the case. I'm not gonna say I think that's not gonna be the case. I'm telling you, that's not gonna be the case. You know what I'm saying? Benavidez may win this fight, but he's going to earn it. He's going to earn it, man. I think Terrell, he has a real good chance of winning this fight if he stays disciplined, if he listens to his coach, and stays patient. I think he can outbox Benavidez and get this victory. You know what I'm saying? But if he decides to throw his game plan out the window and wants to fight Benavidez, then I believe Terrell's going to get knocked out. As far as Spence and Porter, it's like the same scenario in both fights. You know what I'm saying? You got an underdog who can fight, that people are just writing off. You know what I'm saying? People are just writing off Shawn Porter. You know what I'm saying? Like, Shawn Porter has not, been competitive in all his fights. Errol Spence made a good point that, yes, all Shawn Porter's, fights at the top have been close, whereas Errol Spence has just went in there and dominated, all of his opponents. You know what I'm saying? But then you got to think of the level of competition, man. Errol Spence has not fought the level of competition of a Shawn Porter. You know what I'm saying? So, we really don't know, if Errol's going to be able to separate himself, from top level of competition. If you look back at the Kell Brook fight, that fight was very close. First half of that fight was very, very close. And, Brook got hurt. And look at this dumbass. Brook got hurt, and Earl was able to take advantage of him and beat him up and stop him. Now, credit to Earl, he's the one that hurt him. He's the one that beat him. He's the one that broke him down. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, at this elite level, it was tougher. It was a tougher fight for him than the Chris Algieri's, the Leonard Bundus, the Ocampos, you know what I'm saying, Lamont Peterson. Lamont Peterson has always been a tough, good, solid fighter, but I would never consider him to be an elite fighter. You know what I mean? I would say the only, elite fighter that, Errol Spence fought was Kell Brook, and he battered and bruised Kell Brook, but he had to work for it. You understand what I'm saying? I do think Shawn Porter will make Errol Spence work for it. We're going to see some things. We're going to see Errol Spence in some positions that we never seen him in. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence said that he's been blessed throughout his career. He's never been cut. He's never had a black eye, a swollen eye, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. I think we may see, him have a swollen eye. We may see, possibly a cut or something. But I do believe Errol Spence is going to be in the toughest fight in his career up until this point. I believe Shawn Porter is going to bring a different aspect out of Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? That's going to make the Errol Spence fans fall in love with him that much more, man, because Errol Spence is, I believe Errol Spence has multi-facets to his game, man. I believe that he's going to be able to make the adjustments. It's going to be rough early on. It's going to be rough. He's going to have to weather that early storm that Shawn Porter's going to bring to him. Shawn Porter's going to test him physically, he's going to test them mentally, you know, and it's up to Errol Spence to be able to ward off that attack. You know, I don't think that Errol Spence is going to have a problem doing that. I think he will be able to do that. Once Shawn Porter realizes that what he's doing is not working, you know, what he's doing is not going to win him the fight, I think his confidence level is going to start to deteriorate, and we're going to see Errol Spence start to pull ahead in this fight. We're going to see Errol Spence start to break Shawn Porter down. We're going to start to see some body language in Shawn Porter that we're not used to seeing. You know, this is my opinion. You know, this is my thoughts. We all have opinions and thoughts on how the fight's going to go. This is how I see the fight going, man. I see the fight, you know, the first couple rounds, I see, you know, it being very competitive, very rough. You know, like I said, you know, Shawn Porter bringing out the best of Errol Spence, you know, testing him, testing his will, testing his mentality, testing his physical, you know what I'm saying? And then once he realized that, you know, Errol has passed the test, that Errol, you know, is defending and, you know, everything that he's throwing at him, you know, it's going to start putting doubt in Shawn Porter's mind. You know, it's going to start putting doubt in his mind, and then we'll start to see Errol Spence start to shine around the 6th, 7th round. You know, we'll see Errol Spence start to separate himself from Shawn Porter around the 6th, 7th, 8th round. And, you know, Shawn Porter will be in the corner, and, you know, Kenny's going to be hollering and screaming and you know, talking to Shawn, trying to get him to, you know, try to motivate him. But I think it will be to no avail, you know. And then I'll say around rounds 9, 10, 11, Errol Spence will stop Shawn Porter, or the referee will have no choice, or Kenny Porter will have no choice but to stop the fight. But I do think, you know, the later round, Shawn Porter will take a vicious beating. You know, he's going to take a beating simply because his fighting style. You know, Errol Spence made a very, very good comment when asked, you know, when the lady Kate from inside the PBC, she asked him, you know, if you couldn't knock out Mikey Garcia, what makes you think you can knock out Shawn Porter? And Errol Spence made the best statement ever that I can agree with. He said that Mikey Garcia is more defensive responsible than Shawn Porter. You know, and I couldn't agree more. Shawn Porter's style is going to cause him to get knocked out. You know, Shawn Porter gets hit way too much. You know what I'm saying? And Errol Spence, you know, his punches are straight down the pipe. He got a jab that is it's not just a range finder. It's not just a jab to get a reaction. It's a jab to hurt you, man. You know, it's like a sludge hammer tearing up some concrete. That's Errol Spence's jab, tearing up Shawn Porter's face. But, you know, Shawn Porter will show in this fight that, you know, he has heart. You know, he will show that he is a top welterweight. But Errol Spence will show that he is great. Errol Spence will show that, you know, he is, you know, the top welterweight in the division at this time, man. I'm looking for a really, really good fight, man. This card is lit, man. I'm looking for the young kid, Mario Barrios. I'm looking to see, you know, how he fights this kid who's unknown. You know what I'm saying? I can't think of his name right now, but he only has like 7 or 8 fights, professional fights. But from, you know, the research that I've done, he has an extensive and really solid amateur career. So he's not as, you know, inexperienced as his record may show. You know what I'm saying? John Molina Josecito Lopez. That's going to be another barn burner that I'm looking forward to watching, man. This is a really, really good pay-per-view card, man. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the better pay-per-views that we had in a long time, man, because you know every matchup is pretty solid. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta commend PBC for that. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to it, man. You know, $75. I'm gonna go ahead and order the fight. You know, you pay for everything else you want, man. You go buy your liquor, you go buy your smoke, you go to the movies, you go out to eat. You spend your money on everything else you want. You know, spend your money on boxing. You know what I'm saying? If you're a boxing fan, you know, don't be cheap. Go and spend that money on it, man. You know what I mean? I know there's illegal streams out there for you to stream the fight. You understand what I'm saying? But you spend money on everything else you want. Spend your money on something that you like, man. Something that you want to keep enjoying. And that's the sport of boxing, man. And the only way that, you know what I'm saying, we continue to get these big, great fights is if they're successful. You know what I'm saying? And one way to help it be successful is by purchasing the pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Supporting these fighters, man, so we can continue to get the best fighting the best. You understand? I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. You can catch me on Instagram. You can catch me on Twitter at Big Faces Worldwide, all one word. But in the meantime and in between time, stay blessed, fam, and keep on supporting this sport that we love called boxing. Peace.